Let's go.
Okay, we want to go with the Nautilus, okay? We have pretty aggressive laners.
Focus, please.
Focus, let's go.
Taser! Go! Silence!
By these 2 seconds, need 2 seconds. All of OG is here. That's a beautiful engage. They're going to get Jezz's. Can they get more? Tab is going to grab 1. He might be able to grab 2. He gets it. Nice. Weaver's wall. Nuke Duck caught out. He's going to get locked down. That's a quick pickup for Misfits.
You guys got this, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Thank you, coach.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the EU LCS. We're coming to you live from Berlin on this sunny Saturday afternoon as we close out week 6 of the spring split with 2 best-of-3s. Now, earlier today, you saw Misfits rocking and rolling. Cacao, quick little peace sign to pop out. And, of course, our special guest for the day, and maybe for many more weeks to come, none other than xPeke. I mean, I'm just excited. I'm excited. I'm Daniel Dracos. In addition to being excited, joining me is James Kress-O'Leary. Are you excited about xPeke?
I'm excited. I know I'm in this seat, you're in that seat, but what seat is xPeke playing in? We're going to find out so
It's a
quickly.
mystery. He doesn't actually have to commit. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's start by taking a look at the standings. Yesterday, G2 did chalk up enough wins to guarantee them a spot in the spring playoffs. And overall, it's been looking pretty good for them.
Oh, G2 just looked dominant. Maybe a slow start out of the gates against Vitality for the first 15 minutes, but it was an even game, and then G2 showed up. I mean, they just continue to roll on the pressure. They are unstoppable, looking very dominant at the top of the table. And Vitality did make a couple of improvements, as we said in their early game, but unfortunately still sat in that 4th spot over in Group B. So hopefully we can see more in the coming weeks. They've got some of their opponents around them in the table next week to play against, so I think that's their important time.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see how this team develops, especially Vitality look to be improving overall. There's a lot of teams, I think, that need to step it up as we get closer and closer to the playoff bracket, of course. Good to see G2 secure it. Don't think there was any doubt in their minds, but now they have officially locked it in, even if it's not first seed quite yet. But however, this week we have been playing on patch 7.4. We've seen a few shifts in the pick and ban phase, a couple more unique picks coming out, and some old ones as well.
And it's a lot of the layover from IEM, where we were looking at winning lanes and then a strong jungler. You can see Jankos played his Graves. We had a lot of Renekton come out to try and facilitate the top lane wins. I did like that we saw Splice come out with the Nara as a counter to it, so we're still in this shifting meta in the early stages, but it's going to all be about win the lanes, push into the jungle, ward up, put as much pressure on the enemy jungler as you can.
Heard about that in yesterday's PGL. So often content not to play want to play for the bigger objectives, not always about vision, but a new chapter. But me personally, I'm just always happy to see Wonders Gnar. But after today's show, we'll be getting into the post-game lobby, and we're getting meta on you. So tweet @LL Esports and tell us your favorite champion combo that has impressed you the most in this post-IEM world. And remember to use the hashtag EU LCS. Mine is Wonder Gnar. Let us know what yours is. Yours?
Mine was going to be Wonder Gnar, but I quite like the Talon, Knight's Talon, although it didn't win. I liked seeing it. We've seen it from a couple of teams. I want to see it some more.
I'd love to see it as well. VODS was really excited to see the Talon.
Very excited.
Very excited. Excited may not be enough of a word. We've used excited a million times already. But let's look forward to what we have on the cards today. We're going to be closing out week 6 of competition with Unicorns Love versus Rawcat. And it wasn't the cleanest from Unicorns earlier this week.
No, they faced off against the Misfits and lost 2-1. Of course, Misfits in our starting competition of the day, so looking very, very strong. Unicorns, I don't think they'll have too much trouble up against Rawcat today.
Yeah, I can't imagine that Rawcat, have been able to jump up. But however, we've seen a lot of teams make pretty decent improvements over the course. However, that is the match for later. Now we get to talk about Origin. I know you're all excited. I'm excited. And we had to take a trip through the rule book just to figure out exactly what was going down. So to clarify, the team did not have to lock in a lineup until 2 p.m. today. And even then, they did not have to lock in the positions. However, xPeke is sitting in the support seat, and it looks like it will be xPeke. They had the option of Cyanide and Aranea as well. But with xPeke in and sitting in the support seat, how does this change things for Origin?
Well, first of all, it changes things in the fact this is Peke's 4th role out of 6 potential roles that we have, including coach. So, he hasn't had that much time. Obviously, Hiva was removed from the lineup earlier on this week, there is some cruel irony in this very matchup. It has been 211 days since Origin last won, in which it was the last game xPeke played for Origin. That game was against the Misfits in the promotion tournament, that they would win, send Misfits to face Schalke, who would beat Schalke, who are now crushing Challenger, and everybody is saying Schalke will relegate Origin. That is what everybody is saying right now. This is the craziest turn of events. That I know that that's very meta and big picture, but you could not have written that.
Yeah, I wish I could say
hashtag
scripted, but we're really not that good of writers. So this is just the ultimate dream anime narrative, I suppose.
Crazy.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the Misfits.
Yes.
There's so many question marks for Origin. I don't think we can be too definitive in our predictions there. But Misfits are a team we know a lot more about. I'm curious what you think is going to be their big focus coming into this series.
I really like how, Kakao and Alfari have been utilizing this earlier game that we saw. We saw a lot out of Alfari on that Renekton, winning the lanes up in the top side. You can see just diving Chachi. And Chachi never really got himself into the series to follow on in the rest of the game. So I think Misfits just build off the same. We've seen some weaknesses in Sartorius when he's having to play things that aren't tanks. So I'm really looking forward to them to just utilizing this synergy together.
Yeah, interesting to see how it develops, of course, adapting the meta, of kind of evolving the European meta as we move forward as well. Plenty of highlight moments from their previous series. And I think for me, is it just too much at this point for OG to contest with? Like, is there really anything that they can do here?
I think Misfits today is too big a test. Next week, when they have to play against the likes of Roccat and Giants, I think those are potentially winnable games, depending on how today goes. But I think the man on your screen, Power of Evil, his revenge on his former manager, former role-sharing mid laner in Origin,
former AD carry,
his wrath and wanting to get revenge might just be too much for
All right,
Origin
let's round it out. Final predictions coming in here, Stress.
I think it's got to be a Misfits 2-0. They looked so good against the Unicorns that I think, regardless of what swap Origin had made, I think it's just too much against them.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to find out. It's going to be a wild ride for sure. So let's send it over to the casters for game one between Origin and Misfits.